My parents chuckled. You'll never be as good as your sister. I stood up and said, then tell her to pay all the bills. I'm not sending money anymore. Mom blinked, then smiled like she'd tasted lemon. What money? We never received a single dollar from you. My name is Lena Hart. I'm 28. I'm the eldest, the one with spare batteries in a shoebox, and emergency cash in a labeled envelope no one else ever remembers until they need it. I pay rent on time. I show up early. I bring folding chairs to family cookouts because we always run out. If you asked my parents to describe me in one word, they'd say responsible. If you asked for a second, they'd say quiet. My younger sister, Chloe, is the opposite. She's a walking highlight reel. Big laugh, big plans, attention span on roller skates. Every family update turns into Chloe PR, new connection, new lead, a friend in real estate who knows someone huge. They say it like an incantation. If Chloe shines, we're a successful family. I used to joke I was background music while Chloe was lead singer. The joke soured around 22, when I was working double shifts and still showing up to fix the Wi-Fi, replace bulbs, and crawl under the sink with a headlamp because Dad's back hurt and Mom shouldn't be on a ladder. They didn't ask how I was. They asked what I could do. 2 months ago was Mom's birthday. Lemon cleaner and roasted chicken hung in the air. Dad wore the good polo. Aunt Rita rearranged flowers, as if that would make the room richer. I arrived with a bakery carrot cake, Mom's favorite because of the thick cream cheese frosting. Chloe rolled in late with a grin and a story about almost meeting someone at a startup. No card, no dessert, applause anyway. Gifts. Scarf from Aunt Rita, candle from Dad's coworker's wife. Chloe slid a small box across the table. Earrings, she said, winking. Real silver. She didn't say who paid. Mom gasped like she'd been handed the moon. I don't know why I expected a thank you for the cake. That's on me. Dad refilled his wine, glanced at me, and said it. You know, Lena, you'll never be as good as your sister. He chuckled like it was harmless. Mom chuckled too. The table joined. Chloe laughed the loudest. I heard it as a sentence, not a joke. Heat crept up my neck. In my head, numbers lined up like soldiers. 11 months of covering their electric when Dad's hours got cut. 31 gas fill-ups after the card kept glitching. 22 transfers labeled groceries because the fridge was empty and your sister is between paychecks. I counted like breaths. Don't be sensitive, honey, Aunt Rita said. I wasn't crying. I was stone. Mom added lightly, we just want you to be more ambitious, that's all. My water glass shook. I told myself, swallow, smile, keep the peace. That's what I do. Then Aunt Rita turned to Chloe. You really are the woman of the family. Dad made a pleased sound. She's the one we can rely on. Rely landed like a tack in my palm, right where I keep spreadsheets of due dates and bank transfers and receipts, where account numbers live next to the exact model of their fridge filter. I didn't explode. I did chores, cleared plates, boxed leftovers, wiped the counter. When I grabbed my jacket, Mom hugged me without checking my face and whispered, try not to be jealous of your sister. On the way out, Chloe air-kissed. Don't take it personal. Outside, the porch light flickered. Inside, they laughed. My phone buzzed. $220. Zelle. Groceries. Sent that morning on autopilot. Another text from Mom. We love you. Bring paper towels next time. We're out. No heart. No thanks. Just a list. I drove home in silence. I put the half-empty cake box in my fridge. I opened the email folder I've built like a strange hobby. Little green check marks. $80, $115, $400, $900, blurring into fog. A voicemail landed. Dad, amused. Hey, kiddo, don't be dramatic. Family jokes. I played it twice. Then I opened my bank app and scrolled. The money started when I was 21. A snowstorm. Power bill, a little high, $120, just until Friday. Friday never came. February was gas. March was groceries. By 24, it wasn't spot us. It was a schedule. First of the month, utilities. Third Sunday, gas. Random Wednesdays, groceries. Chloe, emergencies weren't emergencies. Registration fees, rent halves, slow month in freelance. There was always a story. There was always a transfer. I tried a boundary once. Told Mom I couldn't send money until I rebuilt savings. She sighed. We'll die before we ask again. That promise lasted 2 weeks. It wasn't just money. I drove Dad to appointments, installed their thermostat, let Chloe use my address temporarily so her packages, sneakers, drone, ring light, wouldn't get stolen. Meanwhile, Mom texted photos of the empty pantry. I sent $100 because I know how an empty fridge feels. They knew. Mom called me dependable while reading a list. Dad checked in on payday. Chloe texted, "You're a lifesaver," flex emoji attached, then posted new shoes. 3 small cuts that never healed. To Christmas, my weighted blanket earned a nod. Chloe's free spa voucher made Mom cry. Sticky note at the end. "Lena, can you Venmo $150? Rent is tight." My brakes squealed. I chose their electric over my mechanic. Weeks later, Mom posted steak dinners. Tonight, lemon cleaner, roasted chicken, laughter, rely. I scrolled back to the first transfer. January 14th, 2019. $120. Just until Friday. I added everything I could find. $28,940 before I stopped. I thought about printing it all. I made tea instead. Sat in quiet. Named the feeling. Not anger, depletion. My screen lit. "Ethan, my boyfriend. You survived the dinner?" "Technically," I typed. "You get to say no, he wrote, working on it. Underneath, a notification from Sabrina, Ethan's ex, commenting under Chloe's story. Some sisters just can't be happy for others. Sabrina and Chloe had become brunch friends after Ethan and I started dating. Coincidence is small, brunch is smaller. I closed my eyes. Then I took a day off work, opened a blank doc, and wrote transfers at the top. 2 hours later, 9 printed pages slid into a dollar store binder. I didn't know if I'd use it. I just knew I was done pretending this was air. So when, at the next dinner, Dad chuckled, "You'll never be as good as your sister," the words that came out of me were clean. "Then tell her to pay all the bills. I'm not sending money anymore." Mom's smile was sugar over glass. "What money? We never received a single dollar from you." The room froze. Not the quiet of thinking, the quiet of gaslighting dropping like fog. I set the binder on the table. "Let's read," I said, slowly. No one moved. Mom's fork clinked against her plate, that tiny, brittle sound that always meant a storm was forming. Dad leaned back like he was the principal about to scold a student. Aunt Rita exhaled sharply through her nose, waiting for someone else to fix the mood. Only Chloe broke the silence. "Oh my God, Lena, are you seriously bringing math to dinner?" Her tone was half laughter, half cruelty, the same one she used on her live streams when mocking negative people. I kept my voice calm. "I'm bringing receipts." Dad chuckled once. Wrong kind of laugh. "You think this is a courtroom?" I looked at him. "You made it an accounting department years ago." Mom's hand trembled as she reached for her wine glass. "This isn't appropriate. You can't just humiliate us in front of family." "You've been humiliating me for years," I said quietly. "You just called me less than my sister. I'm clarifying the data behind that claim." Aunt Rita blinked, whispering, "Sweetheart, that's not how family talks." "No," I said. "That's how truth sounds when you're used to silence." I opened the binder. 9 pages. Lines and notes, color-coded tabs. The numbers glowed under the dining room light like confessionals on paper. "Utilities, gas, groceries, rent for Chloe," I read. "It's all here. You can call the bank if you want." Dad's face darkened. "That's disrespectful." "What's disrespectful," I said, "is rewriting history while asking for my checkbook." Mom's tone sharpened, the same voice she used when I was a child and broke a dish. "We never asked for your money. You offered. Don't twist things." I felt the muscles in my jaw clench. "You texted me every time. Every just this once came from your phone." Chloe rolled her eyes. "God, you're obsessed with control. It's giving weird." That word, weird, landed like a spark on dry grass. For years, that's what they'd called my boundaries. Weird. Overreacting. Dramatic. "You're right," I said. "It's weird to ask your daughter for rent money and then forget it happened." Mom slammed her palm down. "We were struggling." So was I. My voice cracked, not with volume, but exhaustion. "I skipped dinners. Trips. I put off a new set of tires so you could have heat. You think that was free?" Dad muttered, "We're your parents. That's what family does." "No," I said. "What family does is care, not consume." The air went thick again. Chloe laughed under her breath, pulling out her phone, fingers tapping fast, probably texting Sabrina. I pictured the messages. You won't believe this. My sister just brought a spreadsheet to dinner. I could almost hear Sabrina's reply. Of course she did. Mom's voice softened suddenly. Lena, please, you've been under a lot of stress. That boyfriend of yours, he's making you angry. Ethan doesn't make me angry, I said. He reminds me I'm allowed to notice when I'm being used. Dad scoffed. You think this little rebellion makes you groan? You'll regret it. I took a deep breath. My heartbeat slowed, steady. I won't. Then I did something I hadn't done since I was 16. I let silence sit. I didn't rush to fix it, didn't fill it with laughter or apologies. It burned them more than yelling ever could. Finally, Chloe slammed her phone down. You're jealous. That's the real issue. You hate that I'm the favorite. I met her eyes. You're not the favorite, Chloe. You're the excuse. Her face went red. What the hell is that supposed to mean? It means they use you to make sure I never question my place. Mom gasped. Enough! You're tearing this family apart. I stood. No, Mom, I'm just refusing to fund it. Dad pushed his chair back. You think you can walk away? You'll come running the next time something breaks. I picked up my bag and the binder. Then you'll see what happens when you try to fix it without me. I was halfway to the door when Mom said, If you walk out now, don't come back. I turned. You said that last time I set a boundary, and the time before that. You always think I'll fold. Then I opened the door and stepped out into the humid air. I didn't cry until I hit the car, not from sadness, from the sheer shock of having done it. My phone buzzed in my lap. 17 new messages. Mom, Dad, Chloe, even Aunt Rita. Mom, come back. Let's talk calmly. Dad, you owe us respect. Aunt Rita, money isn't everything, sweetheart. Chloe, congrats, you just made Mom cry. Then a new one, from Ethan. You okay? Just left, I typed. Finally said no. I'm proud of you, he replied. Come over, I'll order takeout. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then I drove. His apartment smelled like sesame oil and calm. He handed me a glass of water, waited for me to start talking. They said they never took my money, I whispered. He frowned. You have the proof. I know, but they said it so confidently I almost believed them. He nodded slowly. Gaslighting only works when you're still trying to earn their love. I let that sink in. It was both kind and cruelly accurate. They'll spin it, I said. They'll make me the villain. He smiled sadly. Then stop auditioning for their version of the story. For a long moment, we just sat there, the hum of the refrigerator filling the quiet. When I finally went home that night, I didn't check my phone. I knew the messages would keep coming, twisting truth into something soft enough to deny. I just placed the binder on my kitchen counter, the only light in the room catching on its cheap plastic cover, and whispered to myself, You're not crazy, you're done. By morning, they'd already rewritten the story. I woke to 21 missed calls, 4 voicemails, and 1 new Facebook post from Mom. Family isn't perfect. We all make mistakes. Some people forget that love isn't measured in money. The comments came fast. You're such a good mother. Kids today have no respect. Stay strong. Some lessons take time. There it was, the new narrative. I wasn't the daughter who'd paid their bills. I was the greedy one, obsessed with money. I didn't comment. I took screenshots instead. By noon, Aunt Rita texted, Coffee? Not an ambush, promise. Which, of course, meant an ambush. She met me at the cafe near the grocery store. Floral blouse, concerned expression. She ordered for both of us, like always, then reached across the table. Lena, honey, your mom is heartbroken. I bet she is, I said. You embarrassed them. They feel attacked. They felt attacked by math. She blinked. You didn't have to keep score. Then who was supposed to? My landlord? My mechanic? Her mouth tightened. Families don't need ledgers. Families shouldn't need invoices either, I said. Yet, here we are. Aunt Rita sighed and switched tactics. Your sister's been so upset. She posted something about you, but I told her to take it down. I stirred my coffee. She didn't take it down. Sweetheart, you can't control what people say. I can control what I pay for, which, from now on, is nothing connected to them. She stared at me for a long time, pity painted across her face. You've changed. I smiled. That's the point. When I got home, Chloe's post was everywhere, a carousel of photos. Slide 1, her hugging Mom. Slide 2, quote, graphic. Real family doesn't keep score. Slide 3, a cropped photo of me from Thanksgiving, untagged but unmistakable. Caption, some people love control more than connection, praying for them to find peace. Ew. Sabrina, Ethan's ex and Chloe's brunch partner, commented within 5 minutes. "You're the strong one, always have been." I felt a small, hollow laugh escape me. It wasn't anger, it was recognition. They'd all played their roles perfectly. Still, I took screenshots. Proof folder, updated. By Wednesday, the guilt campaign began. "Mom, you hurt us, but I forgive you." Dad, "We're a family, not a business." Chloe, "You ruined Mom's birthday. Congrats." Then, Aunt Rita, "They're under so much stress. Just send something small to show you care." I typed, "No," then deleted it. Then typed again, "No." This time I hit send. It was the smallest word I'd ever used, and the most expensive. Thursday morning, a call came from an unknown number. "Hi, this is Bright Gas Collections. We're calling about a past due account. $300. It's listed at your address." I knew before the woman even finished. My parents had listed my apartment as their billing address years ago, and it stuck. I took a breath. "That's not my bill. Please redirect communication to the account holder, Dennis or Lorna Hart." The collector hesitated. "Are you sure?" "I'm positive." When I hung up, my hands were steady. A year ago, I would have paid it quietly, told myself it wasn't worth the argument. But now peace meant letting them deal with their own consequences. That evening, Ethan came over. He dropped his backpack by the couch and asked softly, "How bad?" "Facebook campaign, debt collectors, gaslighting." He nodded. "So, Tuesday." I smiled despite myself. You always know how to summarize chaos. He studied me for a moment. "You know this isn't just about money, right?" "I do. It's about control. It's about keeping me useful." He reached out, took my hand. "And now?" "Now," I said, "I'm practicing uselessness." He grinned. "I think the word is boundaries." Same thing to them. We sat there for a while, the silence between us softer than the ones I'd grown up with. At 9:14 that night, Mom called again. I almost didn't answer. Almost. Curiosity won. "Lena," she said, her voice cracking in that rehearsed way, "we need your help. The card didn't go through at the pharmacy. Your father's blood pressure medicine." I closed my eyes. "Mom, I can't." "You can't or you won't. Both." "You're cruel," she said. "That boyfriend of yours turned you against us." "Mom," I said, voice flat. I turned myself toward me. "You'll regret this. Families stick together." "Healthy ones do," I whispered. Then I ended the call, blocked the number for the night, and went to the window. Outside, the city lights blinked like static. For the first time in years, none of them were red flags. Before bed, I opened my bank app. 3 recurring transfers, utilities, gas, groceries, used to leave my account on autopilot. Now, on the same dates, 3 new ones slid in the opposite direction. Label Peace Fund. Watching the balance rise instead of fall felt like exhaling after a lifetime of holding my breath. When I finally slept, it wasn't out of exhaustion. It was because I didn't owe anyone anymore. 2 weeks passed before the next storm. It started quietly, the way most emotional ambushes do, with a notification. Tag. "Lorna Hart mentioned you in a post." I froze before I even opened it. Mom never tagged me. The photo was an old one, the 4 of us on the front porch, all fake smiles and filtered sunlight. The caption read, "Family isn't about perfection, it's about forgiveness. Some wounds heal when love leads the way. Hashtag family first. Had forgive and forget." The comments section was a battlefield dressed in prayer emojis. "You're so strong, Lorna. She'll come around. Don't give up on her." They'd turned me into the villain of a redemption arc I hadn't agreed to star in. I didn't comment. I didn't block her either. Instead, I saved the post to my archive, a new subfolder, Spin Control Evidence. That same evening, my banking app pinged again. Alert. Attempted login from unrecognized device. Lorna's iPhone. I just stared at the screen for a moment. Then I laughed. It wasn't even shock anymore, just tired awe at how predictably bold they'd become. I called the bank, locked everything, changed passwords, and requested a new card. When the rep asked if I wanted to press charges, I hesitated, then said, "Not yet." Ethan found me later, sitting cross-legged on the living room floor, surrounded by paperwork and half a cup of cold tea. "Identity theft?" he asked. "Family tradition," I said dryly. He smiled, but his eyes were serious. "You know that's a crime, right?" "I know," I said, "but I think she's testing whether I'll still fix it for her." "And?" "I'm done fixing." The next morning, a new Facebook post appeared. "Be careful who you trust with your bank information. Some people pretend to help while plotting revenge." Chloe commented, "Exactly, Mom. Energy doesn't lie." Sabrina added, "Been there. Some people love drama more than peace." I almost admired their teamwork. They'd weaponized vagueness like professionals. That afternoon, my phone buzzed again, a number I didn't recognize. "Hi, this is Mia from Sunview Pharmacy," the voice said. "We have an unpaid invoice under your name?" "My name?" I asked. "Yes, it says Lena Hart, but the pickup address is your parents' home." "Of course." I explained the situation, transferred the bill back to the rightful account, and ended the call. Then I sat there for a full minute, staring at the quiet room. For the first time, the silence didn't feel like punishment. It felt like clarity. That weekend, Ethan and I drove out to the coast. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't post about it. I just wanted to feel what peace sounded like when no one else was narrating it. At the edge of the pier, wind tangling my hair, I finally said the thing I'd been avoiding. "I keep wondering if I'm the villain in their version," I said. Ethan leaned against the railing beside me. "You are." I looked at him, startled. He smiled. "Every boundary looks like betrayal to people who benefited from your lack of them." The truth settled in quietly, heavy, liberating. When we got home Sunday night, my phone was full again. Missed calls, voicemails, a text from Dad. "We're struggling. Your mother's health isn't good. Can we at least talk?" A year ago, I'd have sent money before even asking questions. Now, I typed 3 words and stopped editing them. "I wish you well." No apology, no explanation, just closure. Monday morning, I opened my laptop and renamed the old folder of evidence from proof to peace. Every screenshot, every transfer, every Facebook post, still there, but I no longer needed them to defend myself. They were history, not homework. I made breakfast, real breakfast. Pancakes, berries, black coffee. I even lit a candle, the kind I'd once have called a waste of money. Halfway through, Ethan texted, "You doing okay?" I sent him a photo of my plate, learning to spend on myself. He replied with a heart emoji and the words, "That's the healthiest flex I've ever seen." By the end of the week, I received an envelope from Chloe. No note, just a photo of her daughter, Mia, drawing with crayons. On the back, written in childish scrawl, "Auntie L, I miss you." My throat tightened. I pinned the photo to my fridge beside a sticky note Ethan had written weeks ago. "You're allowed to love people and still lock your doors." I stared at them side by side, innocence and boundary, and realized that maybe that's what healing looks like, not cutting the cord, just moving the outlet somewhere safer. That Sunday night, I baked a small cake for myself. No occasion, no audience, just me. I poured a glass of wine, set the cake on my table, and whispered, "Happy Peace Day, Lena." No applause, no guilt, just quiet satisfaction. Then I thought about everything I'd given, and everything I'd finally kept. It wasn't revenge, it wasn't rebellion. It was release. And for once, that was enough.